Obviously, a history has been made over the last couple of days, and I would love to hear your immediate reaction to President-elect Biden, Vice President-elect Kamala Harris winning the White House.
So thanks for having me. And I can tell you that from a personal standpoint, I am just ecstatic that we'll have President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris. He will make immediate changes that help every American and every city in America. And I've been waiting my whole life to see a woman elected to one of the highest offices in America. So that was a huge historic win, I think, for women across America. So I'm looking forward both as a mayor and as a woman in America.
As a woman leader yourself, I know you've broken many glass ceilings. What is the significance of Kamala Harris being the first woman in the White House?
I really don't think you can overstate the significance. That's how historic it is. If you think about America and the population, over half of Americans are women. And yet here we are this many hundreds of years into our country, and no woman has ever served as president or vice president. On top of that, we are in the midst of a really important racial reckoning in America to make sure that the American promise actually can be a promise for all Americans. To have a woman of color be the first woman to break that barrier, I think is even more important. So I think it just shows you that we can be better as a country and we can keep moving forward to what that promise of America is.
So our country, as you mentioned, has been facing a social crisis, obviously an economic crisis, and an ongoing health crisis. What is your take on this vaccine news, and what is Seattle's plan to inoculate citizens if indeed this vaccine is the one?
So I am really cautiously optimistic about the vaccine, but I will tell you, today, the Vice President and President-elect Joe Biden's announcement on COVID-19 shows you what a difference the president can make. If we had had this approach at the beginning of the year, we would be in a completely different place as a country. And I can tell you that as the mayor of the city in the region where COVID first came. You know, we were in a place where we did not have enough PPE for either our first responders or for our healthcare providers. And we as a city had to go try to buy that. We didn't have enough testing capability. And so we got testing kits from Korea because we couldn't get them nationally. Having a vice president and a president who understand the needs of every American, they will work very hard quickly to get this virus under control, to address the real economic harms, and to make sure that when a vaccination comes, we can actually distribute it quickly to all of America. That's going to take Herculean efforts, and seeing that organization today gave me great hope that we are off to a better start.
Meantime, there are a lot of questions about what the next 70 days look like until Inauguration Day, given that President Trump is still refusing to concede. That makes it tough on small businesses that are continuing to suffer. We just heard from Mitch McConnell that any stimulus package that is passed might be smaller than expected. Amazon's offices are closed in downtown Seattle. I know that small and medium business owners are hurting there. What do you plan to do to help them get through this time?
So just today, we in the city put out a new economic support packages for our small businesses. And again, it shows you the importance of federal leadership. At the beginning of this crisis, like you said, not just Amazon, but all of our large businesses started working from home almost immediately. Microsoft, Amazon, Starbucks, Expedia, you name those businesses that are headquartered here. And it made a huge difference on fighting the virus, but we saw immediately that there was an impact on our small businesses and our workers, and they are still hurting. We need Washington, D.C. to act. We need them to act quickly to support workers, to support small businesses. And if we can do the two things together, get the virus under control and have the economic supports that we need, we can get through this as a country, and every city can get through this, and we can come back stronger and better. If we don't do it, I'm very worried about the trajectory because there's only so much cities can do by themselves.
So how concerned are you about the next 70 days in particular, given that a transition of power is hard anytime, let alone when the person holding that power refuses to give it up? I mean, does that uncertainty concern you as the leader of a major city in this country?
I think the uncertainty is bad for all of America. It concerns me because the president does wield a significant amount of power, and that transition of government is part of who America is, having peaceful transition of government after there's a vote. At the same time, I have a lot of confidence in the resilience of American democracy. And I think you've seen from President elect Biden, he is going to continue moving forward and putting together a transition team, a plan for America, a new cabinet. And I have confidence that come January, we will have a new president. But I do believe it is time for leaders like Mitch McConnell and others to work for the best of America and all of America. And that means for President Trump to graciously admit he's lost the office and do everything he can to make it easier for the new president to come in and to keep moving forward for all of America.